I'm gonna pull it up on my other computer and make sure it's working.
Yeah, I have it pulled up on my other computer as well.
The YouTube and the Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Well, I have the YouTube one pulled up.
Hey guys, this is our first time doing it this way, so let us know. I just saw someone pop it in. Let us know if you have any problems. This is our first time trying to restream. Looks pretty cool so far, not gonna lie. But we are
perfect. Yeah, this is pretty cool.
We're figuring it out, man.
Is everybody hearing me?
I believe so. Yeah, let us know if you guys have any difficulty hearing, anything like that. I'm pulling the stream up on my side computer here so I can try to. All right, cool.
Oh yeah, GU is moving.
She moving.
37.
Audio and video coming in clear. This version that we have is also this version is actually only 720p, but the version we'll be getting is 1080, obviously. I'm putting Damon in here too. Damon, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Sure, man.
Where's your handsome face?
You know what? Let me fix my hair real quick.
All right. We got a live studio audience over here, so.
Yeah, I'm in my robe. Don't feel bad. I'm robing it out. It's cold.
This guy's in a robe. You know, that's what we're talking about, though. You know, just staying in your pajamas all day and making.
Yeah,
I'm in pajama pants, dude. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Guys, I hate to admit this, but for the last 5 days, I was wearing the same pair of sweats. How gross is that?
Oh my god. Yeah, man, you gotta be comfortable to catch pips, you know.
That's right.
Cool. Cool, guys. Well, this looks like it's working really well, actually. So I'm excited.
Wait, how do I type in this chat?
We're live on Facebook, right?
Yeah, we're live Facebook, live YouTube.
Well, that's where these comments are coming in. It says where they're coming in from.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's what it is.
Yo, we have all of the platform's comments being funneled into one place.
But you press the little drop down next to it, and it shows you that you can only respond to the restream and the YouTube people. So that's the only disadvantage. It looks like we can't actually directly comment back on Facebook, but I have it open on my side computer here, so I can respond there if I need to. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It shows you all of the comments in an aggregate. So super excited for this, guys. I think this is going to be really cool. A really cool way for us to have like a community setting going forward. Without further ado, let's hop into some charts, guys. Orion, is there anything you want to start with? You want to try to share your screen and see what's good?
Let's see. Share. Boom. Are you seeing my screen?
Yep. So I can control like who has the premiere on the screen or whatever. Dude, this is so cool, honestly. So you guys should be able to see Orion's screen now. I'm assuming I can full screen it. Let me see. Yeah, I can. Oh, baby, this is cool. All right.
Zoom who? Are we even going to use Zoom after this?
I don't know, man. It looks like the Facebook stream is a little bit behind YouTube. Just something to note. I have them side by side. It looks like Facebook's is a little bit behind, but either way, this is super neat. So welcome, everyone.
Yeah, welcome. What I'm going to do, let me move my mic. I am going to break down pound US dollar top down. So pretty much what I would do before I look for a trade. so that you guys can understand why I'm currently bullish. For anybody that's new and like completely new, don't feel, stupid or whatever for not understanding what's going on. I can assure you, if you just join the streams, you'll at some point gain a good understanding of what we're talking about here today. So before I get started, my upside target on GU is like 138 to 138,500, and I'll explain why. So in looking at the monthly time frame, we can see that GU was downtrending, all right, for quite some time. Even if we say from about here, 2014, we've been downtrending. Okay, now around 2016, we created a new low, but then in 2019, we came back and tested that low and found it as support. Okay. So 2019, we tested it as support. And then again in 2020, you can see this candle right here where the wick extended down to this point. It's not anything that we have to worry about now, but at some point in the future, this price point will get revisited, whether it's the same type of flash crash type of scenario. We will at some point revisit this point. So we can notice that it extended down there, but failed to close and close back above this level of support. Tested it again in May, and then in June, started to make its move to the upside. So we can see that we had a level of resistance. I'll just draw it out like this. And Josh and Damon, if you can just keep an eye on the chat, because I don't have it.
Got you. I'm watching it.
Appreciate it. So yeah, we had this level of resistance here at about 132,750 area that was broken here in November and December. Okay, so monthly time frame is now officially in an uptrend type structure. Weekly time frame, same thing. Broke levels of resistance, created new highs. Now, in any market, no matter it be Forex, crypto, stocks, commodities, a trending market is consistent of higher highs and higher low points. Okay, and a downtrending market, such as over here, is consistent of lower lows and lower high points. Okay, so right now what we're seeing on the weekly time frame is a new high was created. So we had this higher high first, higher low, and now we've created a new high. Okay, now what I typically do is I mark off my key levels based on the weekly time frame. So key levels for GU, I know them off the top of my head, so I'm just going to put them in there. Key level below where we're at now is 135. Weekly key level 5. And you find out your pair's key levels by, of course, back testing it and seeing how price reacts at certain price points. So we have 135 for the weekly, and then also 138 coordinates. 38. Okay, now I would drop into the daily, and the reason why I don't have lines all over the chart is because this is where price is currently. So I just want to focus on the region that price is in currently. Okay, drop into the daily time frame. Highlight this region. Boom. And I highlight the region just so I have a range of where price can extend into within that key level. Okay, so now if we drop into the, well, before I go into the 4 hour, we do have a daily level at 136. Daily 36. And then once I get into the 4 hour time frame, this will all start making more sense. Okay, so on the daily time frame, we can see that price is doing the same thing that the monthly and the weekly is doing. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and we created a new high again. We drop into the 4 hour time frame. This is where sometimes as a new trader, you can get a little confused when you see this much information. So if the 4 hour is a bit too much, I mean, try to look at the 8 hour. The higher the time frame, the more clear price becomes. So if you need to look at a higher time frame to see things more clear, then, you know, do that. Don't feel bad about doing that. All right, so now based on the 4 hour time frame, let's see here. We do have some trend line opportunities. One thing you don't want to do is, you know, try to force your trend line. It's either you have one or you don't. If you can see that the trend is clearly up, then the forcing a trend line is kind of pointless. The reason I use trend lines is to kind of get an idea of where price can extend to if it starts to turn around. Oops. Make that a lighter color, since this trend line isn't going to be as strong as this trend line here. Okay, so now we can see clearly that we created a new high here on the 4 hour, and we're maintaining uptrend structure. Oh, let me pull this out. In this region, because we formed a higher low here, equal low here, equal low here, equal low here. So this 136,500 region is a very strong region for GU at the present time. Okay, let me also mark off $137. You'll notice the banks like to move between these key levels, the round numbers. So me personally, I trade level to level. And when I say level to level, I mean, for example, if I'm taking an entry down here, my target is going to be up here. Or if I'm taking a sell from here, my target is going to be down here. Change this to light blue. Okay, so right now we can see that price is in a retracement mode. And what I always tell you know, our students is you don't want to be buying at highs. Similar to investing, you never want to buy at a high. You only want to buy the dips. Okay, so we can see that price broke down trend structure here and here, if you want to consider this a lower high, broke past this level of resistance, broke past this level of resistance, and also broke past this level of resistance. These were all intraday levels of resistance. Okay, so when you pull out your Fibonacci retracement tool, which is a tool that you use to measure the retracement, see how far price can go before taking your entry, you'll notice that price will usually form a pretty steep, if there's not a lot of buying pressure, typically you'll get a steep retracement before the continuation to the upside. The reason why something like that happens is because the market needs to gain momentum in order to continue higher. And vice versa, if price is moving downwards price is going to need momentum. So you're going to see swing highs in order to create new lows because it needs to gain liquidity. I'm just waiting for it to smack TP2. But yeah, so with GU, my bias is to the upside for that reason and that reason only. All time frames are showing bullish momentum. You know, if you just focus on, especially if you're a swing trader, if you focus on what the daily and the weekly time frames are doing, then whatever the 1 hour and the 30-minute are doing, sometimes even the 4 hour, won't trick you out of your position. Because there were plenty of times, we've been in numerous buys this week in the signal room, and there were plenty of times where price is doing funky stuff like this, and you're like, well, you know, is it going to push down to the downside, or, you know, is it going to go to the upside? Or when price does stuff like this and it won't break levels of resistance, it's easy for you to start doubting the position in itself. Or price pushing down, stopping you out, you feel like, okay, you know, maybe it's a sell. But what you always want to keep in mind is if structure is not being broken, then it's still bullish. And same thing with the downtrend. If lower highs are not being broken, you're still in a downtrend. So all you should be looking for is buys. So currently, I'm in intraday sells on GU while holding buys from down here, solely because I noticed that we came into this major level of resistance based on the 1 hour that was formed. So when I saw that we came back into that level, and I knew that we had broken structure here, here, and here, I knew that at that point we would need a retracement in order to continue higher. And also, we broke out of this trend line. So whenever a trend line breaks, 90% of the time, you're going to get a retest of that trend line before continuation to the upside. Is that making sense? Type ones in the chat if that's making sense. I know it's a little bit delayed for you guys. Josh and Damon, you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
Trying to keep an eye on all these people.
Okay, there we go. Now it's just now catching up. Damn. Okay. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, I wonder what the delay is. At least on YouTube, it seems like the delay is a little significant. How is it on Facebook?
I'm watching on Facebook right now. It seems pretty okay.
Okay, yeah, so it seems like YouTube is just the delay. All right, so yeah, that's why my bias.
I just realized I had myself muted.
You're good.
I'm still trying to figure out how all this stuff works, but yeah.
Also, one more thing really quick. So as far as why my target to the upside is 138, it's based on my 4-hour FID extension. 138, and that's also a round number. It's a psychological number. So typically when you break above one psychological level, you're going to move into the next psychological level. So we broke above 137. I'm expecting to see a move into 138. If we can't break above 138, then I'll be looking to see the move back into 137. 137.5 being the minimum, because if we're going to continue higher, then we'll pull back into, let's say, 137.5, 137.300 region, form a higher low, something like, say this happens, push up, pull back into these regions to form that higher low point before continuing higher. Or if price is going to change trend, then at that point you would see that push up to the upside. And then if price is going to change the trend, you're going to see a major push down, taking out these levels here. But you'll get the retest of the trend line, the retest of 137 before the continuation into 136. Let me clear up my chart. There's certain rules that the market has to follow. Or I should say there's certain rules that the banks and institutions and hedge funds like to follow. So whenever you start seeing a push to the downside, or you see a lower high formation on the 4 hour or the 1 hour, that doesn't automatically mean that you're now in a downtrend. That just means that price is retracing to continue on the trend if it's in fact going to continue bullish or continue bearish. Because I can assure you, you have people now that see this lower high formation, that 4 hour shooting star, and they're thinking that, okay, cool, that's lower high. We got a shooting star, which is a price action signal for sellers. We're going to dump back into 136 just because of that. And that's really not the case, typically. You know, unless some type of fundamental news comes out or something like that, it's going to be very hard for price to break and hold below this level, since the daily, the weekly, and the monthly are so bullish. Makes sense? Type ones in the chat if that made sense. And feel free to type a pair if you want. You want me to cover a specific, you know, pair. And if not, I guess we can move on to crypto. So I'll give you guys a second because I know this is delayed on YouTube.
Yeah. I'm looking at the feed. It looks like Facebook might actually even be delayed a little bit more. I honestly don't know. But yeah, no, good stuff. Really detailed breakdown of GU. So I'm all about that. Does anybody have any other Forex pairs you'd like to see?
Let's see, GJ.
And EU.
GJ is my main thing.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so similar to GU, I do everything the same for every single pair. I don't care if I'm trading US 30, if I'm trading, like real quick, just quick glance, whether it's US 30 or a commodity, everything is always the same. I do my technicals the same for everything. Okay, so, ooh, hold on, wait, I think I just. US 30 longs from about 30,360. Sorry, I'm going to get into GJ. I just spotted this real quick. Okay, so I start with the weekly time frame. This shit is blasting through levels. Oh my gosh. So as you can see, GJ, similar to GU, was downtrending since, can't see that, there we go, 2018. Well, prior to 2018 actually, but that was the last high that was created, 2018. And then we started this new downtrend. Now, over the last few weeks and months, you can see that price is showing a lot of sellers exhaustion and very little pullbacks. So this is one of those scenarios where I said you won't necessarily get a steep retracement if the buying pressure or the selling pressure is extremely strong. So you can see that every time price came down, the buyers just pushed it right back up. Once we broke above this level here, same thing, tried to come back down, buyers kept pushing the market back up. Okay, now GJ on the weekly is a little choppy. I prefer the daily time frame when looking at GJ. Get a little bit more detail. But very similar on the daily, you're just seeing this massive rally to the upside. with little to no pullbacks. Minus in here, we got a few, you know, little pullbacks form that higher low, but nonetheless, just push it. 1, 2, 3. Last 4 days, extremely bullish. Looking at 4 hour, actually, let's go to the 8 hour first. Let's see. Okay, so looking at the 8 hour, we are forming same thing: higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low. Now we formed a new high. So just like before, the only reason why I didn't take this particular buy here, we actually had a buy limit set up, but I didn't market execute on this because I don't buy into levels of resistance and I don't trade the middle of ranges. So I'm only taking entries from the top or the bottom of ranges. So that's why knowing where your key levels are is extremely important. So with GJ, 142 was definitely a major level, but I just took it off my chart to clear it up. But that was definitely a major level. And that's why we couldn't get the retracement that I was looking for as of yet, due to this being such a strong level. All right. So when you drop into, let me go into the 1 hour. Actually, I'll keep it on this side so I don't confuse you guys. All right, so looking at the 1 hour time frame, Jesus Christ. I don't understand this. What I'm expecting to see from GJ is similar to GU, is a retracement. I don't know what's going on with the yen right now, but it is causing the pound to go crazy. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I was expecting something like this before the move to the upside. And not to say that it still can't happen. Tokyo just started. So this could be like a pre-Tokyo session pump before the retracement, but we'll see. Jesus. If price breaks above this level, then I'm just going to say screw this, and we're looking for 145. If price can hold above 143, 132, so something like this, I would just look for the retests in here. I doubt this would come through because right now I'm expecting 142.5 to get tested, but if not, retest this level, and then 145 is my upside target. Cool.
Sounds good to me. I know we could probably go all night if we take every request. Do we want to try to keep a certain number of Forex before going to crypto, or?
Yeah, we can. What we'll do for tonight, we'll start with just those 2 pairs, so I don't overwhelm anybody that's like extremely new, okay. And then we can go into crypto. Were you covering crypto or Kaz?
Either way, Kaji wasn't able to make it.
Okay.
So I mean, I can chart it. Someone wanted to see ETH. I don't know if you already have your chart prepared for it. If you want to go for it.
Let me see. ETH.
I know we just talked about it on Crypto and Chill, but I can mark something up.
I have my ETH chart pulled up. You can kind of assist with the fundamental aspect, but for me right now, with a lot of the crypto market, it's kind of hard to say what's coming next because we're seeing a lot of unprecedented things happen right now. Like Dogecoin is like through the roof right now for whatever reason. What is it at current? Look at this.
Doge is from Elon tweeted about it again. He's like showing it. people are jumping on the hype train. I would not buy into that right now. But
yeah, me either. I'm waiting for a massive pullback, if anything. But right now, it's similar with Ethereum. It's like Ethereum actually has a lot of good technology that's behind it and backing it, and things are looking very good for the future of Ethereum. But we are at this major level. We see Bitcoin blew through its major level, so could Ethereum be next? Quite possible. But I would think we should get some type of pullback before that happens. But looking at the daily time frame right now, it looks like the bulls are very much in control. Looking at all this exhaustion to the downside, I wouldn't be trying to go against this. It's like new high, higher low. Based on Fib, we could see 15,000, 1586. Negative 161, 8 extension, 2100. So obviously long term, I'm extremely bullish on Ethereum, but I wouldn't be trying to like counter trend anything. And me personally, I'm also not buying any additional Ethereum right now. I'm kind of just sitting on my hands and waiting to see what happens, because I do feel like a big crash is going to come. Not anything to say that crypto is going to die or whatever, but I do feel like we're going to see a major correction in the market before pushing higher to, create new all-time highs again. Because this curve is just crazy.
Yeah, and crypto is just so unpredictable because of the fundamental side of things. It can just take off at any point, but based on technical analysis, I'm not really buying these levels either. I still think we're going to get a pullback. You might be able to buy like on margin for a spike or something. So it does look like the bulls are still in control of the lower time frame.
Right.
But in terms of like a buy and hold type situation, I think you're still going to be able to get a better entry. Like George said, I think it might spike like the 1500 region where you had your fib, and then tank from there and kind of complete that higher time frame cup and handle situation. We'll
Right.
get a decent 61.8 retracement on that move, and then that's where I'll probably buy back in. I think that's around 700 if I remember, if it goes that deep. But
this 800 level is looking good right now. Like for 8 to 900 region looks good for like first point of major contact if it does make that correction. But from there, I would say like between 700 and like 750.
Yeah.
And then if we can break that, then that puts 600 back on the table.
Yeah.
So but long term, when Ethereum comes down, my recommendation, disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not an accountant, but what I'll be doing personally is buying, because I see Ethereum going very, very far places. I feel like it could potentially be like the next kind of Bitcoin major rush type thing. So I definitely want to have a lot of Ethereum.
Cool. Any other cryptos in particular you guys are looking to have a chart on other than Doge?
Let me see something.
Or any stocks?
Ooh, let's talk about stocks for a second.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we can cover stocks if you like. Actually, really quick, I'll cover something that I bought into that I think is going to be huge. Affirm. If you do a lot of online shopping or whatever, then I'm sure you've heard of Affirm. They're pretty much like an online financing company. They charge you no interest, stuff like that. They went public at the beginning of the year, and like as soon as I saw that they went public, I bought, because what they do is so amazing. The fact that they give people who won't have bad credit or have no credit a chance to build credit, I think that's major for the younger generation. You know, when you're 18, you can't really get a credit card in most cases unless you do a secure card. So Affirm gives you a chance to finance things and make payments, but without charging you high interest. So I would say buying anywhere now, it's at $99.56 a share, is golden. Opening price was $90. I mean, could it go lower than that? Potentially. But long term, I see this being huge. So that's kind of my first take on stocks.
Yeah, I think I haven't really looked at the chart for Affirm, because anytime you get an ICO an IPO like this, usually there's not a whole lot of technical to go off of here. But just based on the fundamentals, I think it's a strong buy. And I mean, even looking just at the technical analysis on like a lower time frame here, it's filling on the 1 hour. Granted, 1 hour not the most reliable time frame for stocks, but on the 1 hour, it's filling a gap that it left unopened. And I mean, that to me is a bullish sign in itself, that it came down and it's filling this little gap that it left on the lower time frame. And I am bullish on Affirm as a company. And again, the biggest thing with stocks to remember is that you want to buy into companies that you are a customer or you're fundamentally a believer of their stuff. I have financed stuff through Affirm before. So I mean, I'm a customer in that sense. Like Orion said, I think that they have a good fundamental backing. So I think it's a good buy, especially at these levels. I mean, I probably would have bought it around 106.
I'm trying to see what I bought in at now.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would have bought it even higher than this. So, I mean, I think at this level, it's a great buy.
If I can interject, gentlemen, and do the due diligence of a disclaimer, we're not investment advisors. Please do your own due diligence. Everything that we're telling you is based on our own experience and recommendations or of what we're personally doing. It's not necessarily giving you investment advice. Please always take a look at the charts, do your own research, do your own due diligence.
Yeah, I mean, I don't own any of this stock. I'm not shilling it for my own benefit or anything. We're just here to chart this stuff for you guys. So like Damon said, do your due diligence, talk to a financial advisor if you if you have any concerns or feel like you don't know what you're doing, because the world of stocks and crypto and Forex, I mean, it's a dangerous world to be in if you don't know what you're doing. So get proper education, make sure you're seeking out professional advice where necessary, and take what we say with a grain of salt, because we're just a few guys that have some charting experience, and we're on here trying to share that experience with you and help you learn how to chart. But in no way is this financial advice. So thank you for that reminder, Damon.
You're welcome. I don't want us to get, in some kind of trouble. So that's why.
No, I mean,
for sure.
We want to keep doing this. We want to keep trying to help people, and the fine print's important. So,
sure.
But yeah, I think this looks pretty good. So that's definitely something I'd put on the watch list and keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah, I will let you share your screen to pull up your stocks that you have, since I know you're like the stock guru.
Yeah, that's good. I think, how do I do this?
I like that logo, man. I need one.
Dude, when I tell you, like, this is the best gift my wife ever got for me, it's like an understatement. I wear this thing every day.
I would too.
All right, let me see it. Here we go. I think. Maybe?
Yep, you're sharing.
All right, is it filling the screen? Why does it look like it's not filling the screen?
No, you have to, what did I click? I think I clicked fill screen. Yeah, so share, and then when you click share, you'll see the option to share full screen or some shit like that, or fill screen.
That's good enough, Josh.
Good enough. All right. Yeah, I'll figure out. Maybe it's because I'm sharing the tab instead of.
That's probably what it is. Probably because you're sharing the tab. Yeah, I shared my own.
All right, that's good enough for now. Well, I can't see the chat now, so let me know if we have any stock.
CTRM. How about let's talk about GameStop, because that's a hot topic right now. Let's do that.
The chart is kind of a joke because of how much manipulation is going on right now. But
and that's what I'm saying. What goes up must come down, guys. The law of averages. It's just you can't be a buyer forever.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're looking at GameStop realistically, I mean,
look how retarded that is.
The monthly time frame, guys. This is monthly. Guys, this is a stock that belongs nowhere than $20. I mean, this is a joke right here. And I mean, for those that don't know what happened, essentially, a group of people on Reddit decided that they were going to troll Wall Street because they got tired of market makers manipulating things, which is ironically what retail traders are now being scolded and banned from doing. So it's a big dramatic thing, guys. Basically, like, millions of people on Reddit got together and bought the stock all at the same time to drive the value up, and they picked a stock like GameStop that was drifting so low that this is a company that was basically on the brink of bankruptcy, and they pumped millions of dollars into it to short squeeze Wall Street, because they were like, okay, if these market manipulators think that they can basically sell and short borrowed shares on a stock, we're going to drive the price up so that they're forced to cover those bets, basically. So it's a big mess. I had some GameStop that I sold like right around $20 when it started to tank. I don't have any currently. I don't recommend, again, not financial advice, I don't recommend getting into this mess, because I understand what the people are trying to do here. It's this whole thing of, we're going to prove that we can fight Wall Street, and we're not going to put up with their market manipulation. Like, I'm all for all that. But the average person is going to get burned so hard on this. If you buy here, guys, this stock is going back down to $10 or less. This is a company that's still going bankrupt. They're not suddenly improving their cash flow. They're not opening more stores. So, GameStop is a dying company that basically spiked into the Fortune 500 because Reddit is trolling them. And it's crazy to me. But, I mean, there's no situation where I would buy this stock right now. There's still people saying that trading's going to resume tomorrow. Dude, look at this wick on the monthly time frame.
Dude, it is building. Like,
scroll all the way out. There's people saying that they're setting their sell orders for GameStop in the thousands. I mean, could you technically buy it here tomorrow and make money on it? Maybe, but you need to understand you are 100% gambling. It is money that you've taken to a casino and you've put on black. Like, you are gambling at that point. There is no technical reason to do anything with this. AMC, same situation. They basically, what happened is GameStop, they caught on to the GameStop situation, and people were like, okay, then we'll do it with AMC. And AMC, as you can see, is not nearly as brutal. It came up to about $20. This is a stock that probably belongs somewhere around the $20 range. They took a major dump when COVID-19 hit, and they've stayed low throughout that. A couple years going into the COVID-19 pandemic, they had really bad years. They were losing money consecutive years, and their books look trash. They're in major debt. This is not a company that's doing very well either. They did just secure new financing So that is a positive thing. And maybe the Reddit community was like, okay, there's some positive news. We're going to kind of ride on those coattails. And that feels kind of like what they did. But they halted, Robinhood, you guys have probably heard, halted trading on AMC and a number of other ones. And so this is not something I'm necessarily, in a position to recommend currently. Full disclosure, I might put an order in tomorrow if I can get it under 10, because I think the fact that there are contracts that are expiring tomorrow for Wall Street, I'm thinking, okay, if they can't get these calls covered, or if they can't get these option plays covered, they are going to have to pay out of pocket or buy up the shares to push the price higher as of Monday. So that could be a catalyst that kind of sends this higher. And if I get in around 10, I'm going to look for exits around 22 or 35. I'm going to take some technical exits. As you can see, AMC is a stronger company in general. GameStop was flatlined. That company was going down so hard that there's no reason for me to think that there's any exit plan really in play there. I think with AMC, there's a little bit more of a reason to think there's an exit play. You might be able to buy and ride that train up to 20-ish before it tanks back down. I think this is a stock that probably, with the new financing that's been established, I think that it should probably settle somewhere around $10 to $12, assuming they can continue to open up some stores. So if I'm looking for an exit, it's going to be $20 or higher. And if I'm a long-term holder, I'm looking for a position to settle back down. You're going to want to see consolidation. These spikes are never a good technical indication for what the position is doing. So you're going to want to see this come down. You're going to want to see this come down and settle and kind of move sideways for a little bit. And if I see that kind of action, then I would be long on AMC, just because they are the biggest movie theater company in the world still by a long shot. Even though they are in debt, their numbers don't look great. I feel like movie theaters are such a cultural experience for people that I think they're going to continue to get bailed out. So long term, I think this is kind of my situation. If I can get it tomorrow under $10, now there's a very good chance this happens. If the stock opens tomorrow and it gaps up to like $15, I'm out. I'm not buying that. And personally, that's just my trading. My trading style. If it gaps up that much, I'm not in it. I'm not in it. It could still go up to here, but you can't win them all. That's part of trading psychology. You have to be willing to miss some trades. It's got to be under $10 for me to be interested in getting a position tomorrow. And if I can get a position, I'm going to be looking around 20 to exit it. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for AMC. Are there any other stocks that are not being heavily manipulated currently? I'll tell you another one that I was looking at earlier today. This is a bioscience. I do a lot in biotech. This is DARE, D-A-R-E. You can see the monthly time frame looks terrible, but you'll notice that with biotech stocks, a lot of times you have a flatline situation until they get approved for something, and then it'll run like crazy from there. If we go down to weekly, you can see there was a spike here. There's been a few different spikes, and it's settled back down around this level. So there is some cause to think that the same thing is going to happen here. The only reason I'm a little bit more optimistic this time around is on a higher time frame. We do have some action around here over where we've seen this test as resistance a couple times, right? So we've seen price come up, and it did close above it in this case, but we still fell back down. We came over, we tested this level, and in this case, we spiked up, and it kind of seems to me like we're retesting that level as support rather than as resistance. And based on the fact that they do have some clinical trials that are going really well, I'm buying into this for a long-term biotech hold at this level. This looks like a really clean retracement to me. So in the past, we've had some kind of dirty spikes into the level. Like you can even see this one that came up, it did close above it, but it very quickly dropped back down and retested back as resistance and fell back to the flat line. And that's been the case a couple times in the past. Right here, we had a really strong bullish move above that level of resistance based on the TA. And we're retesting it right now as support, I think, as part of a retracement. So this is, I believe, a retracement level as well. I can take a couple different pulls, but if I was going to take it, I'd probably take it from here. And you can see that's the 618 of this spike and retracement. So that looks really clean to me on a TA basis. So I got in at 206 today. So I caught a dip that was a little bit lower. Again, I'll continue to say it. We probably need to put it in writing somewhere on the video. Not financial advice. Talk to a financial consultant. But I got into this at 206 today. It's something that I think is going to probably have a price target around $5 to $6 is kind of what I'm looking for. I don't usually take positions in the stock market for short term. I'm more of a buy and hold kind of stock trader. And I do that because, obviously there's different tax liability for selling within a year. And so I kind of try to factor that into my decisions. I'm trying to get into stocks that I think are going to be solid investment opportunities for a year or more. If I'm looking at like the first major level that I'd be looking to take profit, it's going to be somewhere around here. And that is because that was a recent or a previous level of support and resistance for a higher time frame on the weekly. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for Dare. I think this is something you guys should consider putting on your watch list and giving a look to. Just like anything else stock related, I definitely recommend familiarizing yourself with the fundamentals. Dare is actually it's like a woman's health bioscience. I don't remember exactly what their product is, but again, it's the kind of thing I would take the time to Google the company and just kind of familiarize yourself with the product. Anytime you are considering a stock play, make sure that the product is something that you believe in. I'm not a big advocate for just following the charts. I like to invest in companies that I have a reason to think are going to be successful in the future. So that's kind of my take on Dare. Is there anything else that you guys are seeing in the chat frequently? We can do maybe one more stock. Let me see. GEVO. I'm not familiar with it. Is it? Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll look at this real quick. Let's see. So, first things first. Higher time frame. This is flatlined, right? So, not a lot going on here. This is something that, and anytime you see these prices that are really, really high, oftentimes that is a situation where the stock has split and the chart hasn't adjusted for it. Because look at this. This stock was not trading at $60,000. It probably split at some point, and the price did not adjust properly or something along those lines. So in those situations, the TA can be a little bit unpredictable. This is not something that I would be taking a trade on and waiting for it to go to $8,500 because that's the next level of resistance based on higher time frame. So we're going to zoom way back down and see if there's a shorter term play that we can map out here. Let's see. Let's look at weekly if I can get a struggle just finding the price action again. So based on weekly, if you're buying now, you're basically buying into resistance. So that's not my favorite thing to do. This is not a stock that I'm familiar with, but this is clearly a level of resistance because it's been both resistance for many weeks and even retested as support, it is support that retested as resistance. And So that just confirms that level to me. We even had this wick that came up. That probably was some kind of market manipulation right there. But you can see this level has not been super friendly to price action. And we're basically right in the middle of that right now. So I'm either going to want to see a solid pullback to like fill this gap in the $7 area, or I'm going to want to see this spike even higher, and then I would retest and buy between 11 and 12 because I want some kind of TA confirm that this level has been broken. On the daily, we're kind of getting it a little bit. I'm kind of checking the previous price action. In the daily, we're kind of getting it, but this is not convincing enough for me personally. I think between 7 and 8 would be an entry, and potentially even wait for some cleaner structure to form around 11 or 12, just in case, because this has been a level that has been tested previously, and based on TA, I'm not really loving it. Maybe if they came out with something product-wise, or if there's a financial reason for this spike, that's a different story. You can take that into consideration. Looks like earnings came out right before it spiked back into last year. So those are all factors you have to take into consideration. Based on the TA, I wouldn't personally be buying this. I think I'd look for a little bit of an entry around. I'd look for a little bit of an entry around here. Maybe wait patiently for the 61.8 at the bottom of this gap. You kind of have to take gaps with a grain of salt anyway in the stock market because of the fact that it's not trading 24/7. But still, we see these gaps typically fill more often than not. So I think if I'm looking for an entry on this, it's going to be around the 61.8 at the bottom of this gap. And then from there, you could sell the resistance again. That's almost 100% gain. Could sell the resistance again, or if you want to hold and maybe this is the time that it breaks through the resistance, then you can have that kind of situation going too. That's something that you'd have to kind of evaluate based on the fundamentals. So that's kind of what I'd be looking for. Oh, it ran lately because of the new administration stance on oil. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. Stuff like that, EV stocks, they're really hot right now because Biden made that statement that he wants all government-owned vehicles to be electric during his 4 years. I think it was his 4 years. He might have put a farther deadline, but that's a pretty bold claim. And so EV companies have been flying. Plug is one that I have a little bit still left. I've sold most of it. It's just going bananas ever since. I actually have, I guess, something on the chart for this from way back in the day. I think my first entry was down here around $4. And then it just started running like crazy. And this is something that I think is definitely going to pull back. Monthly. We're right in the weeds of some past price action here. So I think there's a good chance this is going to pull back. I'm probably going to try to take another entry around $25, $30, which on a higher time frame probably is going to be some kind of retracement level too, just because fibs work that way. Isn't it funny how that works, Orion? So somewhere like that is probably if I'm looking to get another entry into plug, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't think there's enough buying power for this thing to continue on forever. I think it's really hyped right now because of the Biden news, and that's kind of why it's running.
It's like a game.
Yep.
And then it pulls back into those key areas and then continues to go.
Yeah. And this is, this was a level of support. So I think that
Yeah, look at that wick to the far left where your crosshair is now. Yeah, boom. That low wick right there. Yep.
So somewhere in that range, I think that's liquidity pool right there. And then, you know, we had this over here. We even had what kind of tried to be a retest of the area right here on the monthly. You gotta remember, this is the monthly time frame. So that's a bullish enough push that I'd consider that. And then everyone thought it flatlined down here, and then all of a sudden they got a few government contracts, and now we got Biden news pumping the heck out of it. So I'm not buying it at these levels. I'm not an options trader, but if I were an options trader, maybe some puts or something that expire down in the $30 range. Not a terrible idea. Again, I've never traded an option in my life, so
me either.
It's something I definitely want to get into. Maybe we can talk more about that on these calls as we go, as I learn it. But well, we're getting a lot of stuff in the chat for requests, but we can't be here all night. Is there anything else you guys wanted to cover?
Oh shit! Yeah, it's 8:40 or 8:38. Yeah, time's flying when you're having fun.
Yeah, but we're gonna be doing these weekly, guys. So I think this time works well for both Brian and I. So we'll probably keep doing it at 7:30 if that's okay with you, Orion.
That's fine with me. 7:30 actually works great.
Cool. So we'll keep doing this, guys. You know, if you're sitting here and you don't really know what we're doing or what these lines or these levels mean, you know, these webinars are really going to be more about doing the charting, not so much teaching how we're doing it. If you want formal education, if you want to actually learn how to trade, technical analysis, fundamental analysis, message me, message Orion, message Damon. We can get you started with an academy that will teach you these things. If you want to come and have chart requests, you want to come in and watch us do the charting and kind of, you know, get a takeaway from it. That's what we're going to be doing every week. So 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays. Mark your calendar. Invite your friends. These are public. And we will just be out here in our pajamas and robes hanging out with
that's the vibe. That's the vibe.
So cool. How do I stop this? I think I got rid of it. Yeah, all right. Well,
thank you for coming.
Yep. Chill vibe. Glad you guys liked it. If you have any questions for us, again, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on YouTube, Facebook. That's where this is streaming currently. Or reach out to Orion or Damon and we'll get you taken care of. But thank you guys so much. And we will see you next week.
I just saw a quick question. GRT. Oh, yeah? I'll cover GRT next Thursday, so I'll write it down and I'll cover that because that's actually something that I bought into and I'd love to cover. So, or all crypto right. On Wednesday as well at noon. So.
Oh yeah, so we are doing. Just so you guys know, we have another show called Crypto and Chill that is Wednesdays at noon. Message me if you want the link to that as well. Those are sessions with Orion, Mike Tharp, and Kazi, 3 very strong traders and fundamental crypto experts that are talking about the crypto industry specifically. So if you want more crypto in your life, Wednesdays at noon, and message me for the link for that as well. Thank you guys so much. Any last minute words, Orion, Damon?
I love you guys.
Yeah, just thanks for coming out. If this was a little bit unorganized, we're still working out the kinks. This is because this is our first time using this streaming platform. We're still kind of getting used to it. Not only that, is the first time we are doing this event. So we'll get it more streamlined. It was pretty cool. It was great to have you guys. And thank you, Orion and Josh, obviously, for being part of this. Massive value being shared for everybody. So we'll see you on the next one. Wednesday. Hopefully, we'll see you Wednesday.
Yep, Wednesday at noon for the Crypto and Chill. All right, guys. We'll see you.